Greetings, I'm Shasakta. In this video, I've explained all these answers to these questions one by one. So our first question is explain data analysis. Data analysis is a process of obtaining raw data like images, text, videos, audio clips, etc. and then transforming or converting this raw data with the help of various kinds of systems that are available into a readable type of information, so that from this readable information the user or maybe a group of people can use to make their own decisions or opinions. For example, analyzing and interpreting the data that we have collected in a survey. Now, let's move towards our second question, which is asking us to differentiate between the data analysis and data visualization processes. So before looking towards their respective definitions, we need to understand it to the images that are given over here. In the first image, we are able to get an idea that in data analysis, we are analyzing or examining the data which is in the form of bar and line graphs, and these line graphs and bar graphs are the part of the data visualization process. But data analysis is not only about analyzing these graphs, it's much more than that. In short, it acts as an input source for data visualization. If we see a second image, we get to know that these graphical representations like line charts, bar charts, pie charts, etc. come under the process of data visualization. Now, let's have a look over their definitions. So, as I explained earlier, data analysis is a process where a raw data gets converted to a readable information, and that readable information is taken up by a user or maybe a group of people to make their own decisions or opinions. Whereas in the case of data visualization, it is the graphical depiction or representation of information and data in a pictorial or graphical manner or form. Let's see the advantages of the data analysis process. It determines the underlining of fundamental models and patterns. It also serves as an input source for data visualization, as I had explained this earlier. And last but not the least, it helps in business improvement by forecasting demands. Now, let's see the advantages of the data visualization process. It highlights or underlines the areas that require our concern or attention or any modification or change. It clarifies which elements or which things that influence or impacts our user preferences or choices. It also assists us in determining which products or items should go where and forecast sales volumes. So this was all about its advantages. Let's have a look at the real world examples. UNESCO's survey analysis is a great example for the process of data analysis. Let's see why is it so. On March 31, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization released its The World in 2030 survey report, which was held in the year 2020 among 15,000 people worldwide, and it consists of global insights into the most pressing difficulties for peaceful societies over the next decade, that is 2030. It also includes the Q&A section. So these all things made this data analysis process aimed at helping the organization develop its goal. Now, let's move towards the real-world example for the process of data visualization. For this, we have the National Geographic's cartography. Here, cartography means the process of making maps. Now, let's continue from where we left. This visualization shows us how various different geographers or cartographers work to map the world from 1915 to the present day. These images now take viewers on a journey through cartography's history by explaining how these historical maps were created or made. They help us grasp the scope of these activities as well as the challenging job of geographers at the turn of the century. This was only be achieved because of data visualization. Alright, seeing these all practical implementations, one could tell that Both data analysis and data visualization are the building blocks of anything that we have seen around so far. Now, let's see one common example that uses both of these crucial processes. A survey can be a common or a prevalent example for both these processes because we display our data into bar graphs, histograms, pie charts, and other visual representations. And after doing these all things, we came to the data analysis procedure to analyze and evaluate our details. So this was all about the differentiation between the data analysis and data visualization. Going further towards our third question, that is, which IDE or integrated development environment is best for analysis and why? So the answer to this question will be Jupyter Notebook. Now you may ask why. Firstly, it's easy to use. Secondly, it comes with an interactive data science environment that works with a wide range of programming languages. And last but not the least, it can also be used for presentations and e-learning even though it's an IDE. Now, let's turn towards our fourth question, that is the differentiation between the package and the library. So a package is a directory containing Python files and a init.py file, or it's a collection of related modules that are stacked up together or piled up together. All of these work together to provide a certain feature or functionality. Whereas in the case of a library, you'll see that it's a collection of packages, which is just the opposite of a package definition. It has a large number of modules, and these modules offer a variety of features or functionalities. In this image, we can locate a main file that is init.py. Here py refers to Python extension. And in the second image, we could see some of the modules that are present in the Python library. So this ends our Q&A part. Now let's see our coding questions. For the first part of question 5, we need to write a command to install Pandas. So to install Pandas, we will use the pip command, which is a package manager for Python packages or modules. After running this statement, I'm getting an output as requirement already satisfied. I'm getting it so because I've already run or entered this command previously. Now, if we want to import the pandas, we use the import statement, which is made up of import keyword and module name. Then we will use the as keyword to create arrays of pandas. Coming towards our fifth question, part 2, here we'll use the list method to generate a list object. Then we'll create a list called as list_num, where we will keep the sequence or series of numbers. After that, we use the def keyword to create our first function, that is max_1. In the print statement, the maximum function or the max function was used. The max_1 function, which was created by me, returns the maximum value in the given list. Similarly, for the second function, we have to do the same. We have to use the def keyword to create our second function, that is min_2. In the print statement, the minimum or the min function was used. The min_2 function returns the minimum value in the given list. Let's check our output. So our output is 897 and 12. Here 897 is the maximum value from the list and 12 is the minimum value from the list. So our output is correct. Let's move towards our last question, that is question number 5, part 3. Here we will again create a list called as list_num, where we will keep the series of numbers. Then we will use the for loop because for iteration, that is I gets the value from the list like 122, 332, 245, and so on. To check whether the element I is even or not, we'll use the if statement. If I is even, then the formula, that is I modulus 2, will be equal to 0, and this will be true. If the remainder is equal to 0, then the print statement will print I, which is the value of the list, hyphen the number is even. Now, if the number is not even, then we have to use the else statement. And the else statement will be satisfied if the remainder isn't equal to 0. And if the remainder isn't equal to 0, then the print statement will print I, which is the value of the list, hyphen the number is odd. Let's check our output, and everything is correct. So this was it. Thank you so much for watching this video.